Welcome to another session in remote sensing and GIS. I am Dr. Raviraja. In previous classes, we have seen the definitions of remote sensing and types of data and remote sensing process. In remote sensing process, we have seen the source of energy and interaction with the atmosphere, interaction with the target, and again interaction with the atmosphere, and then transmission, reception, and processing. Now we will see the applications of advantages and limitations of remote sensing. Remote sensing has emerged as a vital tool in geospatial analysis, offering immense potential across diverse domains, including environmental monitoring, urban planning, agriculture, geology, and meteorology, through the use of sensors mounted on satellites and aircrafts. Remote sensing allows us to acquire crucial information about the Earth's surface and atmosphere without direct contact. The purpose of this presentation is to explore the broad spectrum of applications of remote sensing, particularly focused on urbanization, transportation, agriculture, oceanography, geology, vegetation, and atmospheric studies. It will also reflect the advantages of remote sensing brings the scientific and operational communities while recognizing the inherent limitations that can constrain its usage in certain scenarios. In first one, urbanization and transportation, remote sensing plays a transformative role in analyzing patterns of urban growth and infrastructure development. Satellite imagery and aerial data help delineate the city boundaries over the time, monitor urban sprawl, and detect unauthorized constructions. In the domain of transportation, high resolution imagery is extensively used for mapping road networks, assessing traffic patterns, and facilitating transportation planning. In similarly, agriculture has scientifically benefited from the remote sensing technologies, especially in terms of for precision farming and crop management. Applications include soil sensing for evaluating fertility, moisturization, and composition, and farm classification based on a crop type or cultivation patterns. Farm condition assessments such as a crop health and stress detection, similarly agricultural yield estimation, mapping of farm and agricultural land characteristics, and monitoring of land management practices. And wetland vegetation monitoring also helps in finding the spectral signatures of water and moisture soil. It also allows us for quantifying vegetation amount of dynamics, tracking several changes, deforestation and afforestation activities. Multispectral and hyperspectral data help monitor biomass, chlorophyll content, and plant productivity. Similarly, geological and resource exploration mapping by detecting the surface features, rock types, and fault lines. In marine environments, remote sensing is used to monitor sea surface temperature and track the uh, phytoplankton blooms and analyze ocean currents. Ocean color sensors detect algae concentrations, providing the early warnings for harmful algae blooms. These applications support marine biodiversity studies and sustainable fisheries management. Remote sensing satellites are central to weather forecasting and central climate modeling also. They provide data on cloud cover, atmospheric scattering, storm formulation, and precipitation patterns. Infrared and microwave sensors enable long-term observations of atmospheric patterns, improving accuracy in predicting cyclones, monsoons, and other weather events. And similarly, in polar regions also, the remote sensing supports monitoring of ice sheet dynamics, glacier retreat, and sea ice extent. Synthetic aperture radar is especially useful in tracking ice movements regardless of cloud cover or daylight, aiding in the understanding of climate change impacts on cryospheric systems. In similarly, the advantage of remote sensing includes satellite imagery serves as an enduring archive for monitoring temporal changes. It enables the comprehensive regional analysis in a cost-effective manner. Similarly, facilitates the time series analysis to track dynamic changes in land use, agricultural, and hydrology. And also, multi-resolution data offers data at various spatial, spectral, and temporal resolutions, which can be useful in various applications. A single image can be interpreted for several applications like agricultural, urbanization, and a disaster response. And digital format of these data enables rapid and automated processing and analysis using GIS and remote sensing softwares, and it also reduces the minimal field work for which are needed for the extensive ground surveys, and also emergency response useful in managing floods, wildfires, and earthquakes by providing real-time data for planning and rescue, and cost-effective mappings, for example, efficiently support base map generations in remote and undeveloped regions. But also the remote sensing which is having some limitations also. This image is showing the flood affected areas. By comparing with the previous and current image, we can estimate the how much area is affected with the floods. The limitations include the major limitations of remote sensing is the high cost for small areas, not always economical or for a limited or one-time studies. And also skill requirement is needed. It requires expert knowledge for data interpretation and image processing, and cannot be substituted for a large scale engineering service needed in civil engineering architectural studies. So there, because it is having scale limitations. Repetitive aerial photographic cost. So it can be expensive and logically challenging when the repetitive photographs of same area or large photographs are required, and there may be a human error can be introduced in calibration or platform choice or a data acquisition time. So there may be human driven errors may introduce in the process, and also a sensor calibration issues, like instruments can become uncalibrated over the time or leading to inaccurate results over the time. Intrusiveness of active sensors, like radar or lidar systems, can affect the very phenomena they aim to study, not like a natural sunlight. Weather constraints. Optical sensors are often obstructed by cloud cover, haze, smoke, especially in tropical regions. In conclusion, this remote sensing has revolutionized our understanding and management of Earth's natural and built environments. Its wide-ranging applications from agriculture monitoring and urban planning to ocean observation and climate research highlights its interdisciplinary importance. While it offers unparalleled benefit in terms of coverage, data richness, and efficiency, users must also be aware that its technical and operational limitations. With ongoing advancement in satellite technology or artificial intelligence and sensor fusion, the future of remote sensing promises even greater precision, accessibility, and importance in across various domains. The last topic is the ideal remote sensing system. The name suggests tells us it is ideal. That means it is not exist, but how the remote sensing system ideally exists. It tells us about the how should an ideal remote sensing system should exist. So we know that the basic components of ideal remote system should include the following. First one is the energy source, but an ideal energy source should be uniform in all directions. This source will provide energy all over the wavelength at a constant known high level of output irrespective of the time and place. But in practice it is not exist. The day and nights are there. The same energy cannot be the sun energy cannot be same in all over the wavelengths. A non-interfering atmosphere. This is also not exist, but ideally this will be an atmosphere that it will not modify the energy from the source in any matter. That means there is no absorption, there is no reflection or refraction or any kind of alterations, whether the energy is on its way to Earth's surface or coming from the Earth's surface. It should not be, atmosphere should not be interfering with the energy. Next one, a series of unique energy matter interaction at the Earth's surface. These interactions will generate reflected and or emitted signals that are not only selective in respect to wavelengths but are also known invariant and unique to each and every Earth surface feature type and subtype of interest. But in practical, which is not unique, but the reflections will be various types of with respect to the various types of objects. Finally, a super sensor. This will be a sensor highly sensitive to all wavelengths, yielding spatially detailed data on absolute brightness or radiance from a scene throughout the spectrum. But this super sensor will be simple and reliable, requires virtually no power or space, and be accurate and economical to operate. This must be an ideal super sensor. A real-time data handling system must be in present. In this system, the instant the radiance versus wavelength response over a terrain element is generated, it will be transmitted to the ground and processed into a interpretable format and recognized as being unique to the particular terrain element from which it comes. But in practice, it takes some time because the line of sight must be played there between the ground station and the satellite to transfer and process the data. In ideally, this processing will be performed nearly instantaneously, providing timely information because of the consistent nature of the energy matter interactions. There will be no need for reference data in the analytical procedure. The derived data will provide insight into the physical, chemical, biological state of each feature of interest. So, multiple data users. Those people will have comprehensive knowledge of both their respective disciplines. These people will have the comprehensive knowledge of both their respective disciplines and of remote sensing data acquisition and analysis techniques. The same set of data will become various forms of information for different users because of their vast knowledge about the particular resource being used. But in practice, the people which is known vast knowledge does not exist, but the humans are prone to errors. Unfortunately, an ideal remote sensing system as described herein does not exist. So, in conclusion, an ideal remote sensing system is a conceptual model of a sensor platform setup that would provide optimal data acquisition analysis capabilities within minimal limitations or no limitations, while no real system is entirely ideal due to the technological, financial, or environmental constraints. The characteristics of an ideal remote sensing system are included as the discussed. So, with this I complete the chapter 1 of the remote sensing and GIS. Thank you.